Hello, this is Francis Roma, Technical Director for LOGIX Insulated Concrete Forms. In this video, I will be going over the changes to the Estimator Update version 1.1.0. So let's get started. The main focus of this update was basically to address bug fixes, make the program more stable, and that was pretty much what it was all about, because the first version that was out was basically the beta version, and this is the first release that we're going to do where most of the bug fixes are addressed. And with that, there was also some improvements and enhancements made as well. So I'll just go over some of the major bug fixes that we looked at. There were issues with installing this on 64-bit machines, and that's been addressed. There were also some instances where entering data wasn't being updated properly or saved properly. We fixed issues with estimates that included height adjusters and half heights. We also fixed issues with estimates that use 12-inch LOGIX. And there were slight rounding issues with the cost summary in the reporting section that was also addressed. So there was a lot of bug fixes made. These are just some of the major ones. Like I said, the main focus was just to make the program more stable and get rid of as many of the bug fixes as possible. And I think we did a pretty good job of that. The program, I think, is a vast improvement from the first version that was released. Some of the improvements that we made include defaulting the values in the project info sheet. So for instance, if you constantly use Canada as your location, it'll automatically default to Canada whenever you do a new estimate. And I'll go over an example of that. We also added hints throughout the program. The default unit prices in the report section has been changed to $1. Before it used to be just random numbers. We also added cost per square feet to the cost summary in the reporting section. And we added a drop-down list for a preliminary estimates sheet, and I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about there as well. We also added a settings tab. For now, this is an internal use feature. But it's there, and we're going to be adding more features to it in future updates. So let's go over some of the enhancements or improvements that were made. So I'm going to go over and open LOGIX Estimator. I'm going to start a new program. And so what happens here, I'm going to demonstrate the default values that I mentioned earlier. Let's say I constantly do estimates in Canada, so I'm going to change the currency and the location to Canada. I'll change the rebar to metric as well. I'll give this the estimator name, my name. I'll put in a phone number. And so I'm going to close this now and start a new one again. And as you can see, it kept the new default values are Canadian for the currency and Canada for the location. It saved the estimator name and contact information. So from now on, that's what my defaults will be unless I go ahead and change it. Same thing with the other items in here. So if you go ahead and change that, will automatically be your default value for your new estimate. Another feature we added is as you hover along certain features of the estimator, you'll notice down here this gray area, which I call a hint bar. It will display or give an explanation as to what that certain feature is or does as your mouse hovers over that feature. Another item that we've got, and I'll go into the reporting section. Another thing you'll notice is for each estimates sheet here, we have a subtotal and a cost per square feet. That's square feet of the wall area for all of these. So if I go ahead and change this number to 10, it will automatically update this cost per square feet and the subtotal. The cost per square feet is also included in parentheses in the cost summary. And another feature that we've added, more of an improvement than anything, is we changed the unit prices to $1 as the default value. So it's no longer just those random numbers that we had before. Another improvement was with the cost summary. If you click on the pin button here, it will keep it open. Now, sometimes, depending on your screen resolution, what will happen is items like the labor, taxes, custom items might disappear on you. So I'm just going to make this wider to demonstrate. So now I can't see the custom items. To get to it, what we've done is we've added a drop-down menu and that lists the estimate sheet. So if I wanted to go to custom items, I can now click on it and work with it. So that's another feature that we've added. You might notice there's been some slight layout changes as well. The recalculate and unit price buttons are at the top now rather than the bottom. We've added preliminary estimates heading here as well. And that's pretty much it for the improvements. Like I said, the main focus was making the program more stable, easier to work with, and addressing all the bug fixes that we can. And with that, this is Francis Roma for LOGIX Insulated Concrete Forms. Thank you for listening.